Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and we're gonna talk about books like we do every day here. Basically, my cat is about to drop a stack of books on us. Basically, if you were not here this time last year, which most of you weren't, I did a series of haul videos right here, where I'll link them down below too, where I hauled a ton of classic books. I was in the mood for classics. I figured you can't go wrong with buying classics, and I went a little crazy. I did have the goal this year of reading one classic a month, and I would say that I'm doing fairly well with that goal, but basically we're here to call me out. We're going to call me out today. We're going to discuss all the books that are still on my TBR, and you guys are going to help me out. So when you get done with this list, I need you guys to comment down below what classic you think I should read next. I have a couple of classics that actually aren't in the stack because I'm currently reading them. They are floating around my house somewhere. So we'll talk about those first. Tess of Duberville by Tom Hardy is one I am currently reading. I will have a video up explaining my opinions on that later on, so I'm not going to give you much detail. And the book that I just started last night was Moby Dick by Herman Melville. So those ones are in the process of being read, and hopefully they'll help me like catch up to that whole like once a month goal. But this is the stack right next to me of all the books that I picked up last year at this time that I still have not read. So once again, I'm asking for opinions, so bear with me as we go through this because there are quite a few. All right, first, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment. Yes, I don't know why I picked this one up, but I did. We did it. We picked this one up. I have no idea what this is about. I do believe, I'll give you a rough estimate of what I think this one is about, and that would be a man killing a woman to make comments on the justice system. To experience the justice system, apparently that's what he wanted to do. I personally, no thank you. Especially in Russia. I don't think I'd be killing anybody in Russia just to see how the justice system works. I think maybe he should just pick up a book, but that's a whole thing. We can go over the John Steinbeck book I have yet to read that is on my TBR. This is Canary Road by John Steinbeck. This will be the next installment in my Steinbeck series. I read Tortilla Flat a couple months ago and was kind of disappointed with it, so I'm having a harder time picking up this one, but this one will be picked up eventually, and you will get a whole video on both Tortilla Flat and Canary Road. They happen in the same town, so that's why I wanted to kind of do them together. They're both also fairly short. Once again, no idea what this is about. We're just going in for it, all right? Next ones, which were also a part of like my classics journey, was that I wanted to start reading Ernest Hemingway. I have not read anything by Ernest Hemingway, and one of the booktubers I follow here absolutely loves his writing style, and it was always like the John Steinbeck versus Ernest Hemingway discussion that gave me the idea to read both of their bibliographies. All right, so we're working our way through Steinbeck, still have yet to pick up an Ernest Hemingway. So if there's one of these that you would highly recommend for reading like your first Hemingway, tell me down below. But we have A Movable Feast, A Farewell to Arms, and For Whom the Bell Tolls, and also The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. So if you want to know where I got these editions, Pango Books. I have my own store down in the description down below, but Pango Books is a great place to go for used books, especially classics, because you get to find really cool editions. I don't know when these were printed. I think in, what are these ones? 1964. So these are the like 1960s editions of Ernest Hemingway. I love these. They're so cute. Anyways, which one should I read first? I don't know. I've really been leaning towards A Movable Feast, but I've heard A Farewell to Arms is a little bit more romantic, which I enjoy. And I've heard this one, which is literally about a soldier and his plan to blow up a bridge, is kind of dry. So we might leave that one at the end. I don't know which one. You tell me. Okay, that's the whole point of this, is that A, I'm gonna hold myself accountable for the classics I have yet to read, don't need to be purchasing anymore, and B, I need help. I need help on where we need to start this journey. The next one is Albert Camus. Oh no, people have told me how to pronounce this name on here. It was a comment. I believe it's Camus. The Stranger. So this is a smaller book. This one, yeah, an ordinary man gets unwittingly drawn into a senseless murder on a sun-drenched Algerian beach. Camus explored what he termed the nakedness of man faced with the absurd. Yeah, I hear this is kind of like a trippy classic to read, so I was obviously intrigued, so I wanted to pick it up. The additions to this book also look very trippy, so whoever thought of these covers for that book did a good job, I guess. The next one, George Eliot, The Mill on the Floss. This is one that my husband picked up on one of our book shopping trips and just gave it to me. So it's on here. It's on the list. So this is probably one that I might leave till the very end to read, unless, once again, you guys tell me that I need to read it now. Please don't do that. Okay, now we're getting into the editions that I really love. The Barnes & Noble's classic editions, I feel like, are so underrated because everyone loves the Penguin classics, but the color schemes that Barnes & Noble's chose for these books is amazing. I don't think they produce these anymore, which is kind of sad. But once again, I just go on Penguin Books and I just find whatever editions. If I see edition in Barnes & Noble's, I do tend to pick it up just because they look so beautiful on the shelf. I love the colors. You know me, like the thrift store, like secondhand bookshop vibe on my bookshelves. I love it. I want more of it. Any sort of editions, I don't care. Love it. All right. Just recently picked this one up. This is Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. For sure, once again, I've noticed a theme with a lot of these books, which I've caught on to. A woman cheats on her husband, unfairly judged by society for having left an unhappy marriage. Madame Bovary. It was also, Sons and Lovers. It was also Anna Karenina. It is also Tess of the Dubervilles. Like, it's a common theme in all these books, which I think is probably a good topic for a thesis, or like somebody needs to write about that, because for some reason these men who wrote these classics were really fascinated by the idea of a married woman leaving their husband and just being faced with scrutiny unfairly. Most of them write about it being unfair. Like Anna Karenina, it was unfair. This one, unfair. Tessa Dubervilles, unfair, right? I'm trying to buzz through these because otherwise we're going to be here forever. War and Peace by La Tolstoy. Yeah, this is going to be a little while. I have seen several people on BookTube read War and Peace, and it inspired me to go ahead and pick it up. I do have a lot of other books to read, though. I do hear that this is an absolute ride, and to not be too intimidated that this is a possibility, that you can read this and can understand it and can enjoy it. It is huge. Anna Karenina was also big, and I enjoyed that one as well. So this is a chunker, very intimidating, but we're not going to be intimidated. We're going to make sure that gets read in the near future. Next, I have never read Charles Dickens. I feel like everybody I know has read Charles Dickens. I have not. So I picked up two of his more popular books, Great Expectations and A Tale of Two Cities. I remember vaguely as a child, I was a weird kid, attempting to read A Tale of Two Cities and being like, yeah, no, not in my vocabulary, not in my world. So we're going to try to reread it as an adult, as I feel like you should, and also Great Expectations. Maybe during Christmas time. Charles Dickens, while he is known for A Christmas Carol, I did not pick that one up. But I feel like that's kind of a vibe, reading Charles Dickens during Christmas time. You tell me. I think it could be a possibility. Next, I picked up because one of my friends that I buddy read a lot with has read this as well, and that is Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. I have no idea what this is about. If you know what this is about, tell me. An enchanting tale of romance, scandal, and intrigue in the gossipy English town of Hollingford around the 1830s. Tells the story of Molly Gibson, the 17-year-old daughter of a widowed country doctor. When her father remarries, she forms a close relationship with her new stepsister until they become love rivals for the affections of Squire Hamley's sons, Osborne and Roger. When both of them, okay. When sudden illness and death reveal some secrets, everything is shrouded in deeper mystery. Love Square? I think it's the Love Square. Actually, that sounds really enjoyable to read. Uh-oh. I think I might find my next one. All right, Wives and Daughters. Tell me what you think. Middlemarch by George Eliot. I did have another booktuber I follow read this book and say that it was absolutely miserable for her. And she didn't want to do it. She never wants to do it again. But we'll see. Once again, it's just like 19th century commentary on society and human relationships and romance, scandal, all the fun stuff that comes with 19th century classic setting books. Like, I feel like nowadays, even when authors write about 19th century in a 19th century setting, it's normally gossip filled and hilarious and dramatic. I do love this color. Like, honestly, if I never read this book, I won't be mad about it. We're planning on reading it, but if I never do, I still won't be mad about it, because look how beautiful this cover is. It's just like this really pretty yellow. Yellow is a hard color to pull off. Okay. The next, The Man in the Iron Mask by Alexandra Dumas. This is a Three Musketeers tale. I read the Three Musketeers. I read the original book for Three Musketeers. It was kind of rough. So this is here. It exists in my sphere, and it may eventually be read. I feel like these last few books, like, if you tell me, once again, read the book, I'll read the book. But other than that, the next one. Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. I read Sons and Lovers by D.H. Lawrence earlier this year, and it was horrific, and I hated it. And I was like, I may never read this book. But I liked the Netflix adaptation. It was pretty spicy, alright? It was pretty spicy, and it was like pretty bad in the way that like the main character is kind of a, But anyways, this is here. It exists. It's on my shelf. The next two, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandra Dumas. This follows the same lines as War and Peace. I'm tempted to do a video on super intimidating classics. This would definitely be one of them. Intimidating, but for some reason I keep hearing that they are still very accessible to being read. War and Peace and The Count of Monte Cristo were both books that I have seen people read on Book Talk or BookTube and say, while they are very intimidating by their length and when they were written and their verbology and settings and what they're discussing, but it is possible to read them, and it is possible to enjoy them, and so they're here. And seeing those, I'm not gonna lie, seeing those videos really does give me some like inspiration to read these books, and also some encouragement to like pick up these books. We're gonna try it. We are going to try it, and not only that, but I want to make videos as well that do the same for you guys. So make sure you're subscribing so that you can stick along and you can see someone read these books and tell you that they're not that bad. I want to do that for you. Okay, someone did that for me, inspired me to pick up these books, and I feel like, what are we here for other than that, right? Last but not least, I have picked up this book, and I did put it back down only because I was in the middle of going from Georgia to Texas, and it was just like I didn't have the brain power for this at that time. I definitely did some annotating. There are some dog-eared corners. This is something that I am going to pick up, which is why I put it back here. But Voss by Patrick White, or Patrick White by Voss. Oh, that's a discussion. Yeah, it is Voss by Patrick White. That's funny. It's Voss by Patrick White. This follows like an Australian rogue, and his love for a town girl, and their scandalous interactions. He apparently likes to go adventuring, and she wants to go with him. That's it. All right, that's all we're here for, guys. Tell me which books you think I need to prioritize. Make sure you subscribe so you can see me read more of these books. I will link the playlist down below. I only have a couple right now, but I promise you guys, I'm reading Tess of the D'Urbervilles and Moby Dick. I feel like Moby Dick might be an interesting one as far as my opinions on it. But there we are. A very beautiful stack of classics. Are there any classics I need to add? Oh my gosh. Maybe I need to ask you guys that question. Are there any classics that I need to add to this? Are you guys gonna help me? Like, are you guys gonna assist in my book buying habit? Maybe. Okay, that's it. That's all we're here for. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday evening. Make sure you subscribe. Please, the whole point of this video is that you guys comment down below and tell me about these books. Tell me what I should read next. Tell me what to prioritize. And then like the video if you enjoyed it. I want to do more classic based videos as far as like books that I've read, books that I find interesting. You know, I'm thinking about doing one that's like super long classics that people find intimidating. I'm thinking about doing a video about super short classics that anybody can read and are super accessible. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.